Okay, so today we're going to learn how to fold a bindle. Let's say we're out in the field, we have evidence we need to collect, we don't have any of our evidence collection bags, and we really want to get as much stuff wrapped up as we can based on what we've got available to us. All we need is any piece of paper. I've got a piece of printer paper, any kind of tape. I have label tape. Ideally, obviously, you would have your tamper-proof evidence tape, but I'm going to use this yellow label tape just so that you can see it and see what I'm doing with it. We need our piece of evidence. I have a shell casing, and you need a blue or black ink writing utensil of some sort. I'm going to use a black Sharpie because it's nice and permanent and it's going to show up. So let me move my tape out of the way, get my Sharpie out of the way, and I'm going to get my evidence out of the way first. Of course, I would never handle my evidence the way I'm handling my evidence right now. This is a bindle folding video. This is not an evidence handling properly video. So I'm going to start with my paper this way. And I'm going to fold it what we call hot dog style, and I'm going to fold it hot dog style into thirds. So I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm going to go about a third of the way. I'm going to fold the other side about a third of the way. I'm actually going to check it this way, and I'm going to make sure that I've got about 3 even sides and bring it down. I'll check it on the other side too, to make sure I'm relatively even, and this doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm gonna tighten up those creases. Now, I'm gonna keep my paper on the table with this flap up. This is important. I am not gonna flip this over. I'm gonna keep it up like this, so this flap ends up on the inside of my next fold. So for my next fold, I'm gonna go hamburger style. I'm gonna go about thirds, but not all the way to thirds. I'm gonna go close to thirds, but not all the way this time. I'm gonna leave myself 1 or 2 fingers worth of space right here between where this fold comes up and where the next edge is. So I'm gonna leave myself a little bit of space, straighten this out, straighten this one out, and tighten up these folds. So that now I have this nice rectangle, looks like this. I've got a fold here that doesn't go all the way up to the top. I've got some space up here, okay? And then this loose flap is on the inside. It's tucked on the inside. So if I flip this over, there's nothing loose. There's nothing that can open here. These are all closed edges, okay? Now I'm gonna open this back up again, all the way up. And now I have 9 squares, rectangles. 1 of them is in the middle. This is where my evidence is gonna go. So my evidence is gonna go into that middle spot. Now with my evidence in that middle spot, I am going to redo all the folds I just did. So I'm gonna fold that one in, I'm gonna fold that one in, I'm gonna bring this in, I'm gonna bring this in. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna do a little tuckaroony with this. And when I tuck this in, I have to make sure that I'm in a very specific, correct place. So when I look at the end of this, I have this loose flap, I have this sort of base side that's not open, and then I have a loose flap here, okay? So there's this guy that's tucked in. When I tuck, this is a no-fly zone. This is not where I'm gonna tuck. I wanna go into here. I wanna go into this spot, so that I've got a full, no open edges on this side, and so my 2 open edges are closing each other up here. So now I'm gonna take this end, and I'm gonna tuck into that spot, and I'm just gonna close it back up, and I should be able to get right back to where I was before, where I have my nice folded paper, and I've got an opening right here, but everything else is closed up. Now it's lumpy because my evidence is in here, so it's a little lumpy. I got to be a little careful that it doesn't get torn. But now I have a nice package. But here's the thing. Anybody could come along and open this up, and they could get to my evidence. So now I need to seal it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tape, and I'm going to get a piece of tape that's at least double what this length is, so, or what this width is. So I'm going to get at least double this. So I'm going to peel off my label tape. I'm using the bright yellow so that you can see it. If I had tamper-proof evidence tape, that's what I would be using. But of course, the scenario is that we're out in the field and we don't have anything. So I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to go in the middle of it, and I'm going to put it halfway over so that it is completely covering this opening. So you can see that this is where the opening is, and my tape is completely covering it. And now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to bring my tape all the way around. It's okay that it overlaps a little bit there. I'm going to bring it back around, wrap it around. I really want to make sure this opening is closed. So now I have no place where we can get into my package, okay? Now I need standard identifying data on all packages. The first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna do my first initial and last name. You could just do your initials if you have a chain of custody to go along with it. I'm gonna do first initial and last name. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna make sure that when I sign, I am signing half on and half off of the tape. I'm gonna do the same thing with the date, half on and half off of the tape. That's gonna make sure that if anybody comes along and peels this tape off, if they are good enough to peel that tape off in one piece and get that tape back on in one piece, the odds of them perfectly lining up all of this are very, very slim. So that's gonna show me that somebody has tampered with my evidence. And then I'm gonna need, of course, the item number, and this is item number 36, I've decided. Oops, and I made a mistake, so I'm gonna put a line through it and initial it. I need a case number here. And so there's my case number. So now I have my evidence that's packaged up nicely. All I needed was a piece of paper, some tape, and a blue or black ink writing utensil. And now nobody is getting into my evidence without there being some kind of proof that this has been tampered with. There you go, how to fold a bindle.